Black screen, the faint sound of wind, then sirens. Not the distant hum of a modern ambulance, but the chilling mechanical wail of an air raid alarm. You open your eyes, the sky above you burns orange. Searchlights scan the clouds. The ground trembles as explosions echo across a city you recognize only from history books. It's 1940. You're standing in the middle of World War II. No phone, no GPS, no internet, no modern medicine. Just you and the deadliest conflict in human history. The question isn't how you got here. The question is, how do you survive? The first 24 hours. If you were suddenly dropped into World War II, your first enemy wouldn't be soldiers. It would be confusion. You wouldn't know what country you're in. Europe, the Pacific, North Africa? The first rule of survival: blend in immediately. Modern clothing would get you arrested or worse. Your speech patterns, your slang, even your posture would stand out. Cameras are rare, but suspicion is everywhere. In wartime, strangers are spies until proven otherwise. You would need to find neutral, worn-down clothing, avoid military patrols, keep your accent simple and vague. Claim you're displaced by bombing, because in WW2, millions were displaced. Refugees were tragically common. That story might save you. Choosing where to be. Not all of World War II was equal in danger. If you landed in London during the Blitz nightly bombings, Eastern Front, near total devastation, Pacific Islands, brutal jungle warfare, occupied Europe, secret police and resistance movements, your survival would depend on geography. The safest places historically? Rural areas far from factories, neutral countries like Switzerland or Sweden, remote farming communities untouched by direct combat. Your first long-term goal would be clear: get away from strategic targets. Cities with factories, rail yards, and ports were bomb magnets. Quiet farmland, much better odds. The food problem. Modern humans underestimate one thing: hunger. Rationing dominated life in Britain, Germany, Japan, and beyond. Sugar, meat, butter, gasoline, all restricted. You wouldn't survive by waiting for supermarkets. You would need to learn basic farming fast, trade labor for meals, repair tools, carry water manually. If you have modern knowledge of nutrition and hygiene, you already hold a survival advantage. Boiling water, basic wound cleaning, understanding germs. Even small habits from 2026 would reduce your chances of dying from infection, a common killer back then. The language barrier. If you don't speak the local language fluently, your risk skyrockets. In Nazi-occupied territory, wrong accents could mean interrogation. In the Soviet Union, suspicion alone could mean disappearance. In Imperial Japan, outsiders were often treated as enemies. You would need to speak less, listen more, mirror local behavior, avoid political conversations entirely. In wartime, opinions can kill. Neutrality isn't cowardice, it's survival. Disease and medicine. Antibiotics existed, but were limited. Penicillin was only becoming widely available in the later years of the war. Before that, infections from small wounds could be fatal. You would need to avoid injury at all costs, keep wounds clean immediately, stay away from overcrowded refugee camps where disease spreads quickly, maintain hygiene even when others don't. Even something simple like washing hands regularly could dramatically increase your survival odds. Modern knowledge becomes your secret weapon. The moral dilemma. Here's where survival becomes complicated. You know the future. You know about D-Day. You know about Hiroshima. You know about the Holocaust. Would you try to change history? Warning someone about a bombing, trying to expose a war crime, attempting to stop a major event? The temptation would be enormous, but history is dangerous. Governments would treat future knowledge as espionage. You could be imprisoned, tortured, or executed as a spy. Survival might require silence, and that silence would weigh heavily on your conscience. If you're drafted, if you're the right age and gender, conscription becomes a real threat. If drafted, volunteer for non-combat roles, medical assistant, logistics, engineering. Avoid frontline infantry at all costs. Use your knowledge to stay useful, but not suspiciously brilliant. Knowing how wars end doesn't mean you can dodge bullets. In fact, being too smart might get you noticed. And in wartime, being noticed is rarely safe. Psychological survival. Here's something people don't consider: the silence of no internet, the isolation, the slow pace of communication. Letters take weeks. News travels slowly. You might never know if your family in the present is safe, or if you'll ever return. To survive mentally, you would need routine, purpose, community, emotional control. You would have to accept uncertainty. And that may be the hardest survival skill of all. Imagine it's 1945. The war ends. The guns fall silent. If you survived, it wouldn't be because you were stronger than everyone else. It would be because you adapted. You blended in. You avoided glory. You chose caution over heroics. You understood that survival is rarely dramatic. It's quiet. It's patient. It's humble. And if one day the sky tears open again and you return to the present, you would never complain about modern life the same way, because you would know how fragile peace truly is.